After making their first move of the season, trading for Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton for D'Angelo Russell and Maxwell Lewis, the Lakers have been forced into an impossible decision if they want to improve this team, and that might include parting ways with some of their best young talent in order to maximize this roster, improve their standings in the Western Conference, and ultimately reach their goal of hoisting the Larry O'Brien Trophy and winning another NBA championship. And today, we're going to talk about what this move is, the implication it has, and how it can help the Lakers in the short term and potentially maybe hurt them in the long term. And we're going to balance out if it's actually worth it for the Los Angeles Lakers to make this one critical move right before the NBA trade deadline. And welcome to Lakers Digest here, guys. My name is Hunter Pitcoff, and we cover everything surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers. I hear the comments. I know a lot of you you guys only talk about trade scenarios. That's not true. We talk about trade scenarios. We talk about rumors, reports, game coverage. We cover everything here surrounding the Lakers. So if you want to come support this channel, now is the perfect time to do so. We have a goal of reaching 5,000 subscribers before the end of the first month of the new year. We reached 4K right before the ball dropped on New Year's Eve, and we are getting ever so close to reaching 5,000 subscribers before the end of the month. So if you like what you see, again, guys, we don't just do trade reports, despite what you all hear. I see you in the comments, and I will respond to you in the comments too. As long as you're all respectful and on some polite manners, then I will respond to you in those comments. But I don't want to hold you guys up too much further here. Let's just get into today's video here. Simon says to swing for Simons, and I love my little bit of alliteration here, as you guys can probably tell. I got my bag for that one a little bit, no cap. But anyways, let's just talk about this trade that some people are proposing out here. John Hollinger of The Athletic noted that Los Angeles could be a team interested in the longtime Blazer, none other than Anfernee Simons. He's saying, quote, "That amount is enough to match the salaries of most of the star players they'd be considering. Zach LaVine, for instance, makes $43 million a year, and Anfernee Simons makes a tad under $26 million. So we've been hearing Zach LaVine a ton. I mean, we've heard guys, we cover every single possible trade scenario. I try listening in the comments as well. Even try getting ahead of the curve a little bit. I'm not hearing a whole lot of Anfernee Simons buzz, but the more research I did into this, as well as a player who's actually rumored to potentially go to the Lakers, the more I'm like, hey, this could be possible here. And the Lakers have had their eye on Anfernee Simons since he was coming out of high school and entering the NBA draft here. He has one of those weird exceptions where he came out of IMG Academy and was draft eligible. So Anfernee Simons has been around the mulberry bush for quite a minute now and has had the Lakers fancy for quite some time. So Anfernee Simons, what does he bring to the table? Well, let's see here, guys. He is an absolute microwave of a scorer and an absolute really good playmaker as well, averaging a tad under 19 a game for the Blazers this year. Been one of the sole bright spots for the team. 25 years old, so almost a year or two away from his prime, shooting 36.5% from three. He is somebody who, even if you look at his shots here, guys, a lot of the guys we've been mocking to the Lakers are guys that are catch-and-shoot guys. But look at him. 58% of his threes are assisted. That means 42% is him just creating the shot for himself. The Lakers, after trading D'Angelo Russell away, they have not had that bench scorer to be a spark plug for this team, both as a scorer and as an initiator for others, right? That's the downside of trading D'Angelo Russell, right? That is what he is good at. Those are his strengths. And they traded that instead to get Dorian Finney-Smith, which, don't get me wrong, he's a good basketball player, and I believe fit a bigger need on this team than D'Angelo Russell did. Plus, D'Angelo, an expiring deal, somebody who they clearly did not want long-term, whereas Dorian Finney-Smith, I'm assuming you don't trade for a guy like that if you're not going to keep him long-term. So that's someone that the Lakers wanted. But Anfernee Simons does what D'Angelo Russell does, and I think he can even do it better because he's more athletic. He's got a longer wing. Well, I'm not sure he's a longer wingspan, but he's more athletic, more explosive than D'Angelo Russell, and not nearly as streaky of a player as a D'Angelo Russell is. And only 25 years old. Not that D'Angelo Russell's old, but Anfernee Simons still has a little bit of room to grow here. And I think is arguably even being a little misused in Portland just because this is a team that is trying to rebuild, and they got guys like Scoot Henderson, who, let's not forget, guys, was the 3rd overall pick in the draft behind Victor Wembanyama and Brandon Miller in 2023. So this is a player who was considered the 3rd best player, arguably even the 2nd best player in that draft after Wembanyama was Scoot Henderson, and somebody who the Portland Trailblazers invested a lot of draft capital in. They also have Shaedon Sharpe there as well, who they invested a lot of draft capital in. So Anfernee Simons has been on that team for a while, and if we're going to look at the contract here in a minute, just to let you guys know, this is someone who signed what seemed like a lot of money when he first signed the deal, but now has become fairly reasonable of a contract, and somebody that a lot of teams around the NBA can have, including the Los Angeles Lakers. So let's just get into it here too, guys. Is the asking price, though, going to be too high for Anfernee Simons? So the one thing I said, the contract is not bad. So let's look at the contract from a money perspective here. He is on a 4-year, $100 million deal. This year is making just a tad under 26. Next year, a little over 27. And then he will be an unrestricted free agent at the end of next season in 2026. So Anfernee Simons, that's not a bad contract for a guy who can score on all 3 levels, averages nearly 19 points a game, and is a high-usage player. And if the Lakers were to trade for a guy like Anfernee Simons, this is a player that is going to take on most likely the 6-man role for the team, unless they want to take Austin Reaves and move him to the bench. So that is potentially the option there to bring in Anfernee Simons, and maybe he's a little bit more of a natural guy. Plus, I view him as a combo guard, just like I view Austin Reaves, can play the 1 or the 2. So these guys in certain packages can also play together, because Anfernee Simons has the athleticism and size to also play the 2 if needed, as well as the versatility to play off the ball and shoot the ball as well, kind of like an Austin Reaves. And if you have LeBron out there, now you got 3 playmakers, and this really opens up the playbook for J.J. Redick and that coaching staff. However, money is a thing, and Anfernee Simons is a good player. So in order to get good players on this roster, guys, you need to give up good players and good value as well in order for the Portland Trailblazers, a team that hates the Lakers, in order to accept this trade. And the Lakers right now, again, he's on the books for about $26 million this year. That means they're going to have to shed some salary. And since the Lakers are first apron team, that means that they actually have to give up more salary than what they are getting in return in order to get any sort of player in a trade. So they're going to have to give up more than $26 million in a trade, or essentially a tad under $26 million. We'll just say 26 just to keep it a little bit round here. So first player the Lakers have to trade pretty much is Rui Hachimura. He's going to have to be in this trade. That is why, guys, he's going to be in all of these trades pretty much for the Lakers if they want to make a big move, because he's the big salary. They're not going to trade LeBron. They're not going to trade Anthony Davis. They can't trade Dorian Finney-Smith. They can't trade Shake Milton. They probably won't trade Austin Reaves. They probably won't trade Max Christie. There might be a player that the Lakers are going to have to give up, and that's Dalton Knecht in this deal. And a lot of you guys, let me know down below in the comments too, is it not worth giving up on Dalton Knecht this early? But the Portland Trailblazers are going to want something in return here. And maybe they wouldn't have to give up Dalton Knecht. Maybe it would just be Jalen Hood-Schifino would get the job done. But the difference with a guy like Anfernee Simons compared to somebody like Dorian Finney-Smith is that Anfernee Simons is a younger player, right? And he's a better player than Dorian Finney-Smith is, generally speaking. So you're going to have to give up a little bit more to get him. Now, that does include draft picks as well. So the Lakers would have to definitely give up at least 1 first-round pick. It might even have to be 2. If not, they can give up a second-round pick there. So it'd be a first-round pick and a second-round pick, or maybe 2 first-round picks to get Anfernee Simons. That's probably what it's going to have to take. I think at least 1 first and a second is probably worth it. If they can somehow avoid giving up Dalton Knecht in that deal, I think it's definitely worth it. But I think a trade realistically, if I had to give you a trade scenario off the top of my head, what I think it would take to get Anfernee Simons, I would say Rui Hachimura with the $17 million. You got Dalton Knecht here with just round up for $4 million. So that gives you 21. They'd have to give up probably one of their guys here, like a Jackson Hayes or a Cam Reddish. And I think even then, the money might not be enough. They might have to actually give up Jalen Hood-Schifino in that deal as well. because if they're making $2.5 million, that would put them at, let's see, 23. Yeah, so they probably would actually have to give up someone like Jalen Hood-Schifino. Now, maybe in a scenario they can give up just Gabe Vincent and Rui Hachimura and 2 first-round picks and call it a day. That could potentially be the option. But if the Lakers gave up Dalton Knecht, they may not have to give up another first-round pick. Maybe that would be their equivalent of getting a first-round pick and another first-round pick in Knecht, who just was one, as well as getting a literal first-round pick. So that's a little bit confusing, guys. But the point I'm making here is that Portland is just not going to give up Anfernee Simons just to give him up. He is an expiring contract next offseason. So Lakers would be thinking 2 steps ahead, getting somebody like Anfernee Simons. They would have a year and a half to kind of see what he's made of, if he's a good fit for the Lakers, whereas they wouldn't have just a couple of months, and then he could just walk out the door in free agency if he wanted to as an unrestricted free agent. Plus, if they trade for him this year, they also get his bird rights as well, and they would be able to retain him and give him more money than any other team could in the open market in 2026. But let me know down below, guys, what you think, because this is not a name that I've been hearing a lot of, but there is a little bit of smoke. And when there's a little bit of smoke, there might even be a little bit of fire, a spark, a flame, whatever you want to call it, for Anfernee Simons here. It would be really tough giving up Dalton Knecht. I'm a big Dalton Knecht fan. However, that might be what it takes in order to get the two-way combo guard in Anfernee Simons. So let me know down below, guys. What do you think? Also, too, all of our thoughts and prayers are with the not the Lakers, but the Los Angeles community during everything they're going through right now with the wildfires out there. So we've we've let you guys know of places to go if you want to donate to organizations like the Red Army, Red Cross, Salvation Army, United Way of Greater Los Angeles. There's plenty of organizations out there that are on the grounds right now, as well as the first responders, firefighters, and everybody in between helping out that community. So we send our thoughts and prayers from Lakers Digest, from Digest Media. And guys, if you want, subscribe to our channel. We're trying to reach 5,000 subscribers. I believe in you guys. If you like what you're hearing, like what you're seeing, click that subscribe button. Hop on the bandwagon now. Get that platinum status before it's too late. And I promise you, we cover everything here on Lakers Digest.